Hello, and welcome to Walking and Talking with Mrs. Smith. Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Mrs. Smith, and I'm a Christian. And this week I was walking in Quarry Bank Mill Estate in Cheshire in the UK, which was built at the start of the Industrial Revolution in 1784, I believe, and it grew to become one of the largest cotton manufacturing businesses in the world. And today it's looked after by the National Trust. Now, when I recorded this video and I got home and listened back to it, I realised that there had been interference on and off all the way through. Now, I don't know what caused that. I don't know if it was something at the location. I'm not sure, but it was dead annoying. But this location was so beautiful that I really wanted to share it with you all anyway. And I knew I couldn't return here anytime soon because it's miles away from me. So I decided to keep the footage and just recalled over it. So let's hope I can remember what I said the first time round. Again, I am recording my audio live, not live. So I'm not going to stop and start or edit it. It's just me ambling as always. So this week I've been thinking about why people, mainly in the film and theatre industry, over the years have felt the need to change the appearance of Jesus. And I'll tell you why I've been thinking about this. It occurred to me that Jesus was a Jewish man, right? Born in Bethlehem, and raised in the town of Nazareth in Galilee. So he was a Judean man. And in the Christian Bible, in a book called Isaiah, in chapter 53, I believe, it reads that Jesus had no beauty or majesty to attract anyone around him. So there was nothing about him that would have specifically attracted people to him. He was just a normal looking bloke. Nothing wrong with that, which I actually like because most of us are just normal looking people. And in another book of the Bible called Matthew, it implies that Jesus may have looked very similar to his followers, his disciples, because at one point, Judas had to identify him to the authorities. So Jesus wasn't particularly recognizable apart from the crowd. You know, he didn't stand out. He just looked like an ordinary Judean man. Again, nothing wrong with that. So then, why have people in the film and theatre industry mainly over the years felt the need to change the appearance of Jesus and almost make him look westernized with like long blonde hair and blue eyes and, you know, really slim usually, when in reality, Jesus worked outside. You know, he was a carpenter. He would have probably been quite muscular. He may have had kept his hair quite short, and it was probably messy, and it would have been dark hair probably, and he more likely had brown eyes as well. Um, I'm remembering one of Jesus Christ Superstar's leads, the musical, Ted Neely. He was a really good example of a typical Western style Jesus. He had long blonde hair and pale, wrinkle free skin. I mean, he almost looked like a Disney version of Jesus, really. Um, what's the point of that? So it got me thinking then what historical evidence we have to support any sort of reconstruction of what Jesus actually did look like. So I did my own bit of research, and it turns out that there is a scientific method known as, I need to get this right, forensic anthropology, I believe it's called, which is used in things like fighting crime, photo fits, things like that, I think. And apparently, British scientists teamed up with Israeli archaeologists years ago to create a computer generated photo fit of Jesus to show what he may have actually looked like historically. And they came to the conclusion that he was probably just an average looking Judean person, a man whose face was probably a bit weathered from, like I said, a career of physical labour, working outside. So his skin will probably have been very tanned, and he may have looked a bit rough around the edges, a bit grubby, probably kept his hair short, and it probably looked unclean and uncombed, which sounds a million miles away from how the film and theatre have portrayed Jesus over the years. But why? I mean, for me personally, knowing that Jesus was a normal looking person, didn't stand out from the crowd, probably looked a bit weathered, probably a bit rough around the edges, there was nothing outstanding about him physically, makes me feel like he's more relatable to the everyday person, definitely more relatable to me. So I feel like our images of Jesus in films and theatre, and sometimes even in church windows, probably say much more about the film and theatre industry than they do about Jesus' actual historical appearance. But why do they insist he looks like that? That's in no way true to his physical appearance or his ethnicity or his work life. I feel it just um, means that his character is less believable. Um, Personally, though, I think that it's far less important to know what Jesus looked like than it is to know about his true identity. Um, his true identity was revealed through what he said and what he did, not how he looked, right? Um, but I feel like an audience having a connection with the Jesus portrayed on stage and screen is really important, because the loss of a connection to a character can make it incredibly hard to keep watching. But a real connection makes you want to see what happens to that character next, right? If they're more believable, you start to invest in that character, and you think to yourself, I'm going to keep watching this character. I like this character, I can relate to them, I can connect with them. If it looks a million miles away from what Jesus would have looked like, then already it's unbelievable. So already that connection could be hindered, you know? Actually, talking of hindered connections, for myself as a Christian, it's really important for me to stay connected to Jesus. That is the real Jesus, not the character. By reading my Bible, by praying, by making choices that I feel will honour God. And I know when I'm doing something that isn't honouring to God, I can feel it. For example, if I engage in something like negative, gossipy conversations, then I can injure my connection with Jesus because I'm disobeying his command to say only things that encourage people or that build people up. Good advice, that. But, you know, I do understand that in more recent films, Jesus is looking a bit more like how he actually would have done. And that's great because there was absolutely nothing wrong with how he would have looked in the first place. It didn't need changing. And as I said, for me, it's not about what he looked like anyway. It's about his teachings and, you know, what his life and death did for us through his crucifixion and his resurrection. God offers us a chance of eternal life. I think at this point on my walk, I was getting a bit lost. So I think I probably finished around there. Um, but if you do enjoy my videos and you've liked this one, then please do hit that like button and subscribe as well, because it really helps me out. It doesn't cost you anything, but it will help you to see more content as well. So please also feel free to agree or disagree with me in those comments. I love hearing your comments. Thank you to everyone who's commented so far. Thank you to a few people as well that have given me ideas for talks. I am working on those and I will try and get those out soon. So thanks for joining me again, and I'll see you next time. God bless everyone. Bye.